this is a little bit disgusting, that after a half an hour, little bits of meat were coming off.
We're talking to sound designer Suddi Raval about his best and worst experiences in the games industry. That should be cool. Can you tell me what's been your best experience in the games industry?
See, I'm a big Star Wars fan. I watched Star Wars when I was 6, when it came out at the cinema in 1977. It blew my mind, and the sounds in it, probably without realising, were having a profound effect on me as a child. I never thought I would work on anything to do with Star Wars, and when I started working for TT Games as the head of audio there, they'd worked on a Lego game before, but they weren't working on Lego games when I started. When I started on an Indiana Jones game, which was great fun, really cool. We did a few Lego games there, but I think it was the Clone Wars, because that was very popular at the time, the animation. We did an adaptation, a video game of that animation series. And one of the most exciting things was having to speak to LucasArts, so Lucasfilm, who make the Star Wars films. I was in direct contact with them. So having to speak to their team and say to them, can you please send me the sound effects for R2-D2, was just incredible. And to get the actual sounds from the actual guys who were making these things and who had these sounds in their libraries was just loads of fun.
Yeah, R2-D2 is like iconic.
As you can imagine, those sounds, on the downside, you can't really change them.
That's it, he's set.
Absolutely, but I was given the opportunity to do some quite comical moments, like I did a beach version, a calypso version of Darth Vader's theme. So you can imagine it is quite a kind of serious mood to that music, because Darth Vader is quite a serious character in Star Wars. So to do comical versions of his famous music was tons of fun. We did a lot of quite amusing things because it was Lego and people want to have fun playing the Lego games. Yeah, we did as much comical moments as we could where it worked.
What's been your worst experience?
I would say there have been very few moments in the last 28, I nearly said 30 again, last 28 years. There have been very few bad moments in that time. The one thing I can recall that wasn't very much fun was a game I had to make for the movie called Triple X that was a Vin Diesel movie. It required some bullet sounds, and I had to make some bullet impact sounds, and I was doing some research as to what people were doing in movies and other people in video games, and I found that people were sometimes using things like literally a piece of meat in order to create the sounds, and hitting it, close miking the sounds. I do whatever it takes to get the job done. So me and my colleague at the time, we went to a butcher's and asked them for, I don't know what my words were exactly, but we wanted a cheap piece of meat. We didn't want to buy the most expensive piece of meat, but we wanted a piece of meat so that we can try and make sound effects with it. They gave me a big chunk of beef. I was vegetarian at the time. I'm in a recording booth. I'm in a Foley room. That word Foley, by the way, that's to do with the kind of recording techniques, recording sounds and sound effects that came from the movies. Jack Foley is his real name, invented that technique of making sounds, and now it's also in other mediums such as video game. So we're in the Foley room making the bullet sounds using this piece of meat, hitting it with a metal rod, miking the sounds. And I apologise in advance that this is a little bit disgusting, that after a half an hour, little bits of meat were coming off.
Yeah, gross.
It wasn't that nice. Probably hit me in the face, and I didn't enjoy that much. So yeah, that was probably the low point.
Yeah, man.
I got over it. I got the job done.
Well, it makes a good story.
Yeah, it really does that. Yeah.
I didn't realize there was such a thing as a vegan sound designer. You learn something every day. Click here to find out what a typical day is for a sound designer in the games industry.